Hey everyone, welcome back to Addicted to Gear. Today we're checking out the Sonicake Matribox II Pro. It's a feature-packed multi-effects unit and it's been popping up almost everywhere on the internet. I've been intrigued and I wanted to try it, so I got one and I want to have a closer look at it today for myself. And I want to share my honest opinion with you on it. Let's see what this unit can really offer. Is it just hype, or is this thing worth your hard-earned money? Let's have a look and we'll break it down together. So I'm on a quest, guys, because there seems to be new choices popping up every day for so-called budget multi-effects units. And these units are slowly pushing the boundaries. They're pushing the boundaries of what the term budget actually means. We often automatically associate budget with not being pro quality. But I think this little unit from Sonicake might just make you rethink all of that. So we're gonna discover whether or not that's true in this video. So we'll be having a closer look at the unit. We'll check out the included software. We'll build some patches together and I'll be letting you hear what it can offer in terms of tones. So stick around for all that great stuff. Watch the whole video. Now, if you're the impatient type and you want to jump ahead, there are timestamps in the video description below, but you'll be missing out on all the fun. All right, let's jump into it. So right away, I can tell you this unit feels surprisingly premium. My arms are getting tired holding this thing, and it's surprising because it's not that big. It does offer a very robust metal case from what I can see here. The top and the back are both really solid bent metal pieces, and they're quite thick. So there's no doubt that this unit will withstand the tests of time on the road. It will be roadworthy, I can guarantee you that. Much better than, plastic units that don't really stand up for very long. You'll also notice that the unit has 6 foot switches here, and 2 of the switches, the rear ones, are slightly taller. And this is by design. It's to accommodate accessibility here so that you can hit these rear switches without stepping accidentally on the front one. So this is a nice, thoughtful design touch. All the knobs and switches on the unit feel really solid. You can feel there are tactile little indicators as you turn the knobs. And the 2 top knobs here, the menu and the master, also work as selection buttons. So there's a knob and buttons 2 in 1. Now, another nice touch is that all of the foot switches that you see here are illuminated by independent LEDs. So that is really handy because they do change color depending on the mode that you're in. If you have a short memory like me, you don't get confused and it's easy to see what's going on even on a dark stage. And speaking of foot switches, the unit can also run in foot switch mode. What is that? Well, that is basically when you press these 2 switches down at the same time, the unit will allow you to independently turn on and off any of the effects blocks as needed, giving you a lot more flexibility for live use. You'll pretty much be using the unit like a standard pedal board at that stage. Now, I know you guys are going to ask me this. Yes, there is a looper function included, which is perfect for solo jams, building out song ideas, as well as a basic drum machine for practicing, noodling, or working on your timing. So all that stuff has got you covered. Now, in case you didn't notice, I really like the fact that they've included a very solid feeling metal foot pedal here with that sandpaper style grippy finish on it. You know, the type that you can actually file your nails down on it and control a host of parameters within the effects blocks. So it's very, very handy. Some units don't include this anymore. I'm really happy that they decided to put one in. Now, I appreciate units more and more that offer clean, modern layout when it comes to the switches, the screen, and all this stuff. I like things that are not cluttered and, that you don't accidentally step on something that you don't intend to do. And this one is very clean, very spaced out in terms of all the functions here. I like it. I wish more and more units would do the same. Now let's get to the good stuff. You've probably noticed right here that there is a screen. This screen is large, it's bright, it's sharp, and it's also touch capable. So you can navigate all of the menus here within the screen just by tapping, dragging, dropping, selecting what you want, which makes it a whole bunch easier than having to use the knobs all the time. This is clunky, this is modern. I like the fact that they've included that, and you can use the knobs if you wish, but for me, it's much easier just using everything right here on the screen. Now, this screen outperforms some more expensive units that I've tried recently. So excellent work, Sonicake, for not cheaping out on the quality of the screen within this unit. It makes a huge difference in my opinion. Okay, so at the time of this review, I'm running the latest firmware, which is version 1.1.4. So everything I'm showing you here today reflects this current firmware. If your unit hasn't been updated, I highly recommend you update it to the latest version. Now, before we play some sounds, let's look at some of the specs you're getting under the hood. It's quite important. You're paying good money for this unit. Let's see what it's giving you. Now, if my memory serves me correctly, I believe that there's about 63 amp models that are included with this unit, and they vary from really nice clean sounds to high gain. So there is something in here for everyone. They've even included a nice selection of bass amps. Most of you out there are probably guitarists. I'm a guitarist too, but it's also nice to have some bass amps available to you in case you want to lay down a track. I think that's a bonus, and it always comes in handy. So let me take a big breath. There's 93 effects, 61 cab sims, 20 IR slots, 10 NAM slots, and we'll talk a little bit more about NAM slots in a minute. I think this is a really nice feature of this and deserves a little bit more attention. There's 30 factory presets, plus you get another 30 user slots. So you can create your own custom creations and save them. Plenty of space to create your own patches. None of these units would be complete without looking at the connectivity aspect of it. And in this unit, I think they have pretty much everything you need covered. In the back of the unit, you get everything from balanced XLR outputs here. You have an effects send return, which is extremely useful. I love that. You also have space for an expression pedal, an external one. So if one pedal's not enough, you can add another one, which is really nice. A lot more flexibility that way. You have MIDI in and out. You have a USB-C, which you can use as a direct audio interface for your DAW. So this unit playing and recording has got you covered. It also has a little ground lift switch here, and it even has a physical on-off switch. I know this is not a big deal for a lot of you guys, but I really appreciate units that offer a physical on-off switch. I really like that much better than having to yank out the plug every time you want to turn it off. So really happy about that. Okay, one of the standout features of this unit is that the Matribox II Pro supports both IR files and NAM files. So who out there can tell me what those are? Anyone? Okay, if you're not familiar with those terms, here's a really quick basic explanation. So IR files stands for impulse responses. And these are like taking a digital snapshot of a speaker, a cabinet, and a mic in a room. So they let you recreate the sound of different cab setups right inside of this box. Next, the NAM file stands for Neural Amp Model. And this is something I've been playing around with relatively recently. So I'm not an expert at it, but I can already see that you can do a lot with these type of models. So they are basically ultra detailed digital models of real world amplifiers. So when you load a NAM file, you're basically getting a snapshot of a specific amp's tone and its behavior. So you're bringing both NAM files and IRs into this unit, and it really pushes things to a whole other level. But wait, it gets better, because you can load IR and NAM files independently, or you can use them together. So that gives you huge flexibility to tailor your sound exactly how you want it to be. Plus, you can get free NAM files on the internet for a host of really cool amps. All right, now you guys are probably itching to hear what this thing sounds like. So let's have a look at the Matribox software that comes bundled with this unit, and we're gonna hear some of the actual sounds it has to offer. I'll let you hear some factory tones and a few of the NAM patches that I created, as well as some of the clean sounds and whatnot, so you can decide for yourself if this unit has the tonality of what you are looking for in a multi-effects unit. So let's make some noise. I'm gonna jump into some tones right away. I'm gonna click on the first preset here called Love of God. Let's hear what that sounds like. So you gotta really like those plate reverbs and those delays that they've programmed into these patches. I think they sound really nice. Wanted you to hear the ending of that. A nice crunch for sure, a really nice overdrive sound. This is a Soldano 100 with a matching Soldano 4x12 cabinet. And you can see once you select the patch here on the left-hand side, the presets show up here. Everything you're using within your patch is here, going left to right. And we have a gate, we have the amp, the cab, an EQ, delay, plate reverb, volume. There's also a Zen Drive pedal here, but it's not engaged. It's turned off. You can see that because it's gray. So if I turn that on, we can add a little bit more bite to it. So maybe some of you might not really like too much delay, and perhaps we can add a little bit more reverb in the mix, some nice plate reverb. So I just want to hear how that dies out. A good plate reverb definitely mixes well with a nice lead sound like this. And there's a lot to choose from here in terms of reverbs. You have everything from studio, club, room, church, plate, spring, sky, so on and so forth. So each one of these can be tailored to your liking, okay? You're not limited in any way. And if you want actually to use more than one delay, for example, you can also do that. You just have to grab a delay block down here, drag it into your preset settings, choose a different type of delay. So in this case, maybe a ping pong. So I can turn both of these on at the same time if I wanted to. It doesn't necessarily mean it's gonna sound good, but we can try. Let's see. What do you get? Interesting. I'm not recommending you do that all the time, but you can. As long as you don't run out of processing power in the unit, you can add multiple blocks if you want to. So let's go into another sound. And by the way, all the presets are here on the left. You can scroll, you can see just how many there are. There's a bunch. So you're not going to get tired anytime soon. And I like the way that they allowed you to organize your patches here just by selecting the categories. So if you select pop, those come up. If you select country, those come up. There's nothing in the country. But jazz, there's one. Okay. I guess we're leaning more towards rock, I guess. Folk, nothing under folk. But there's lots of rock, there's lots of metal, so there's nothing to worry about there. So let's listen to another sound. I'm just going to go back to all here. And let's take a cleaner sound. What do we have here? Perhaps we just scroll down and see what there is. There's a shimmer clean, and you'll get this notification every time you switch a patch if you didn't save the changes you made in the last one. So if you don't want to save it, just click cancel. No harm, no foul. So this one is a Jazz Chorus 120. amp with a 2x12 cabinet. I think you guys know how clean and nice the Jazz Chorus amp sounds. Let's see how well that one works. So you'll notice something here, that shimmer verb right over here, and maybe you didn't hear it that well because it's a little low in the mix, but let me just pump it up a little bit. That sounds really nice. I mean, I've heard better shimmer verbs on more expensive units. I mean, but we're talking about more of a budget unit here, so I'm pretty happy with that. And it's very fun to play with these sounds. You know, you can give it, you can get some really nice ethereal sounds without too much effort. So let's go to something else. As I mentioned, they have included some acoustic guitar sounds. So let's hear how that sounds, because it's nice to have access to acoustic guitar sounds without necessarily having to carry another guitar. Pretty convincing. I like it. I like it. So if you're doing something, you know, around the now I'm also playing a guitar with humbuckers, so it's probably not the best guitar to be using with acoustic guitar sounds, but it gives you an idea of what those sound like, and I think those are pretty convincing as well. So let's go to the hot lead. Okay, this one is very aggressive, as you can tell. This is a Marshall NAM file that I brought in there, and I'm using the Soldano cabinet IR with vintage 30s. Okay, but I just wanted to give you a flavor of how extreme you can get with this kind of stuff. Now, one thing I wanted to show you are the drum sounds. They're not that inspiring. I'll let you hear what they sound like real quick here. So you can tell that they sound rather fake a little bit. You can do electronic as well. Or you can do just a plain old metronome if you're practicing. You can adjust the beat or the volume, and it's good to have just in case you don't know where your metronome is. You can just use this one in a pinch. You don't have to look for your old one somewhere in a box full of dust somewhere. But the drums are okay. They're useful, but they're not the best. I don't know if you're going to be recording with these kind of drums, and hopefully maybe Sonicake will be able to update those in the future and give us a few more better sounding drums. Not all multi-effects units are 100% perfect, so I'm going to give you my list of pros and cons associated with this one. First of all, I think the premium feel solid metal construction is a big pro. Big, bright, crisp touchscreen with easy navigation is awesome. Excellent connectivity with all the connections you need, XLR, MIDI, USB, etc., etc. Plus, the Matribox software is clean, it's simple, and it's very intuitive. You don't need to fumble around with a manual. You can pretty much figure it out as you go. Now, the IR and NAM files that are supported within this unit is a huge plus, in my opinion. Plus the factory presets that you get, plus the 30 customizable slots feel more than sufficient to me to get you through most gigs, rehearsals, or just jamming alone at home. Now, the patch organization system is well thought out, and I think it's a welcome addition to the software. And the LED foot switch indicators that change color independently are always very, very convenient. So I'm glad that they did not overlook that. Foot switch mode lets you toggle individually so you can play around with your effects very easily. And yes, the physical on-off switch is a must for me. And I think everyone should be including an on-off switch on your unit today. So I hope everybody out there hears this. All right, let's look at some of the cons. There's not that many, okay? This unit is really a standout unit in my opinion. I think for what it costs, you're getting so much in this unit. Now, one of the things I did notice, however, is the pitch shifting effect could track a little quicker. It seems to be slightly laggy in my opinion. Not a big deal, but I did notice it. Also, the shimmer reverb sounds are okay, but I don't think they have the richness compared to more pricier units out there. But hey, you know, under most circumstances, you're getting way more for the price of this unit than I can expect. So, you know, just something that maybe they can work on for a future update. Now, the reverbs on this unit, like the spring reverb, could be a little bit better. Other reverbs sound good. I just felt like the spring reverb didn't really sound that authentic to me. And the drum sounds that are included with the little drum machine are a little basic. So they could sound a little bit more realistic. Now, overall, I think the Matribox II Pro offers many very usable features. And it makes this unit a whole bunch of fun to play. It's thoughtfully designed, it sounds good, and it's easy to use. So for me, you know, all those features that are built in, the IR, the NAM support, patch grouping, flexible foot switch control, makes it a really compelling option for anyone interested in exploring the world of multi-effects without, you know, that steep learning curve or the steep cost associated with so many other more expensive units. I think you can do 90% of what you want to do right with this unit without breaking your budget or just, you know, blowing the bank. So it's not 100% perfect, but honestly, what is these days? For beginners, hobbyists, or working musicians needing a portable all-in-one backup rig, this one deserves a serious look. Hey guys, if you're not already subscribed to the channel, please consider hitting that subscribe button. I love bringing you honest quality gear reviews, and if you're enjoying this one, please give us a thumbs up, and a sub would mean a lot and help the channel keep going. Thank you for watching. More reviews on the way, so stay tuned.